Oh boy. Woo. Woo, 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 woo. Brian, we started this game. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a live Mile High recap. Please hit like, please hit subscribe if you haven't done that as well. I'd appreciate it. Really helps the channel. We'll get started just like we normally do. Mariners win 4-3. They improve to 60-56 on the season, and they salvage one game against the Detroit Tigers. Go over the scoring plays. Fifth inning, Parker Meadows doubles to right to score Madris, 1-0. Zach McKinstry doubles to right to score Justin Henry Malloy and Parker Meadows, 3-0. Middle of the fifth. Mariners get one back. A Luke Raley homered in the sixth, 3-1. And in the ninth inning, Mitchell Haniger doubles to center to score Ryan Bliss, who I missed getting called up, Luke Raley, and Randy Arozarena. 4-3. I'll give everybody a chance to come in. Oh my gosh. Feel free to leave any questions. I'll talk about the positives and negatives like I do with every other video, but some people requested a live Mile Y recap. We haven't done one in a while. We've done a bunch for Mile Y enthusiasts, and we had a chat during the game. Appreciate everybody who's done that. If you want to take part in that, you just have to hit join. It's $4.99 a month. You get that and a whole bunch of cool stuff. All right. Let's start with the negatives. The Mariners are extremely fortunate to win this game. As my good friend Jacob just put in the chat, that was literally a blessing from God. I don't blame you for feeling that way whatsoever. I'm not far behind you because this offense for 8 innings stunk to high heaven. Stunk. And it ain't like they were facing Tariq Skubal today. They were facing dog turds. Okay? They were facing the bottom of the barrel. Brennan Hanafy, Salmons, Tyler Holton's okay. Will Vest, former Mariner legend, has looked okay at times. He has decent stuff. Oh. But this offense for 8 innings was turds. Absolute turds. What's up, Jacob? What's up, Harrison? What's up, my buddy Mean One? Pat McGroin, Seattle Chris, Matt Adventures, Kyler. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Really appreciate the support. Again, please hit like and subscribe. I'll get to your questions in a few. And yes, we're very thankful for Ryan Vilade making a very terrible decision and also striking out 3 times in his 3 at-bats. Really good baseball game. But yeah, this offense was just garbage for 8 innings. Victor Robles had a really rough one. He's starting to come down a little bit. He was due, for some regression. Justin Turner was bad. We'll talk about Mitch Haniger in a second. Josh Rojas struggled. Dylan Moore really struggled. Oh, and yeah, Pat, you make a great point, and we'll talk about that in a second too. Real quick, I want to thank Simply Seattle and remind everyone to go there because you go to www.simplyseattle.com. You got to finish that part. You go to simplyseattle.com. You enter code MOLLYWOP15. It takes 15% off your order. That's MOLLYWHOP15. All one word, and it takes 15% off. It's a great deal from great people. Can't appreciate their support enough. Whew. On the positive side, I thought outside of the 5th inning, Brian Wu pitched outstanding. The first 4 innings was one of the best starts I've seen from a Mariner this year. And that's saying something because Mariner starters have been really good this year. But those first 4 innings were fantastic. Now, the 5th was really bad. And he gave up some hard contact. He just caught too much of the plate with a few pitches, right? But take away that 1 inning, and the fact that he was able to get into the 7th for the 2nd straight start, ooh, that is encouraging. That is super encouraging. It's nice to see. Look, I'm not asking them to overwork Brian Wu, but it's nice to see them, loosen the limbs a little bit. Loosen the chains is what I meant to say. Great job by him. Jimmy Garcia was fantastic, as he has been all but one appearance so far. And JT Chargois. I thought that was such a fantastic pickup too. Ooh, great job by them. Keeping them in the game. Then the positives offensively. What's up, Rodney? Thank you so much. Luke Raley, a homer off a lefty in this economy. There is a reason Luke Raley doesn't play against lefties. We've seen it. And yes, he wasn't exactly facing this was not Clayton Kershaw on the mound. But he gets the homer. He gets another hit. He draws a walk. 3 for 4 in terms of getting on base. Take it. Mitch Haniger. And look, he was having an atrocious baseball game, right? Atrocious. Just atrocious. And he deserved a hit. He definitely didn't deserve a 3-run hit, and it ends up being a double. An absolutely atrocious play from Ryan Villon. Absolutely atrocious. Just keep it in front of you. Yeah, the game probably ties. Maybe not, though, because it was hit pretty hard. Thank you. And it's just great to see for Haniger because, look, he's mostly struggled this year, right? More than mostly. He's struggled this year. But it's fun to see a guy who, in my opinion, is probably a Mariner Hall of Famer come up with a play like that. And as a couple of you brought up, maybe the Mariners were owed one after last night. After Parker Meadows made the best catch I've seen in Safeco Field in a long time, especially when you consider the circumstances, maybe the Mariners were owed one. All right, let's take a look at some of these. First of all, again, appreciate you guys coming out. If you don't mind hitting like as well, that would really, really help me out. A win is a win. I think a lot of us almost turned that game off. And Pat turned it off. A few people weren't watching and missed a just wonderful baseball ending. Lucky ending, but an ending. And again, yeah, as many of you point out, just played in front of you. If the ball played in front, I think we're probably still going extra innings. But it's close. It's a close play. Justin, yep, all you have to do is stop watching. Listen, the Mariners' issues with hitting has to be something that is coached. It's not a coincidence that this is an every year thing. Rodney, I was planning on talking about that a whole bunch when I was just planning on doing a video, and honestly, assuming a loss. Assuming a loss, because there are just a few too many constants and too many hitters that have been good elsewhere and come here and stunk to not talk about that. Yeah. There are changes that need to be made next year. They're not going to be made this year, but there are changes that need to be made next year. Thank you so much, Matt. I had a blast hosting on KJR. I hope I get to do it again soon. Yeah. Really appreciate everyone who's turned in for those shows, and everybody who tunes in for Mollywop Monday every week as well. It means an awful lot. It's amazing what happens when Scott stops listening to Jerry and manages by feel instead of spreadsheets. Interesting. I'd be curious what you mean from this game, specifically. But yeah, I think all managers need to use their guts more often. I think they all do. Yeah, Mitch has come up with some unbelievably huge hits for the Seattle Mariners. Many big hits. Let's see here. It was interesting hearing Aaron on the broadcast say Service spent 90 minutes making the lineup. I was under the impression he didn't make the lineups. No, Scott makes the lineup. Scott gets suggestions, just like every other manager does. But Scott does make the lineup. And Jacob, I was ready to yell. I even drank a whole bunch of clear American Mandarin orange to finish this guy off today. Getting ready to keep my throat, boy, lubricated sounds like the wrong word, but I was ready to go. After last night's I just don't see the point. I saw the point. I was ready to yell again. Is offense down in the minor leagues just like the major leagues? I assume it is the ball and perhaps loose rules on Stickum for grip. Someone, Cliff, that's very funny. Thank you. Is offense down in the minor leagues just like the majors? I assume it is the ball and perhaps it is down a little bit. Part of that has to do with a lot of prospects have been called up. Is one of the reasons why minor league numbers are down a little bit, except for some exceptions like Modesto and something like that, or stuff like that. The ball, grips, pitchers being really freaking good. There's just a lot of stuff. Good thing we have the Olympics to fall back on when the Mariners play like crap. But I've been watching a lot of Olympics. Handball is the best sport in the world. If I could do mile Y on handball, I would do it. And it makes me mad as heck that the United States isn't better at the sport. Because we should dominate handball. We should dominate handball. And Rodney, as you bring up, we do have another tie in the division. I believe Houston is ahead by 0.001 percentage points, which is it's a tie. Yeah, Matthew, apparently we did win. I was as surprised as anybody. And I will say the Seattle Mariners spoiled it for me. Comcast is having an issue right now with the games being delayed. So it was a fun little thing to see on my video. Yeah. Houston is ahead by 0.001. I may have said the opposite. And I see what you're saying, mean one. The leaving the lefty in. I still have no issues with some of the splits they do. As nice as it was to see Luke Raley get some hits against lefties, go look at the other numbers. There's a reason why. I still think that they should prefer to leave Luke Raley out against lefties. But yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. I get what you're saying. So how about pitching talent? Is it also better than it has been? Certainly in the major leagues right now. And there's some good prospects in the minor leagues too. It's not quite as pitching heavy as it used to be, but there's some really good ones. I hope they build on that energy. I won't hold my breath, though, after carrying nothing over from the first two Philadelphia games. Well, and yeah, Brian, that's a great point. Unfortunately, we have not seen that carryover at all, have we? We just haven't seen that carryover as well. Next up, Matthew, we got the New York Metropolitans, who should be exhausted. They're on a pretty long road trip here. Got to take 2 of 3. I'm going to say they do take 2 of 3. I'm going to say they get a win on Sunday Night Baseball. I'm going to say they lose Friday or Saturday, but I'm going to say they get 2 of 3. A 5-4 homestand is pretty disappointing. 6-3 should have obviously been the goal, but I'm going to say that they do get the series win. They do get the series win, in part because I think the Mets are just going to be pooped. I think they're going to be pooped. I wonder if Stanek is going to pitch against us at some point next series. I would be surprised if he didn't. I haven't seen how Stanek has done since his last few, but yeah. I'm going to promote this again real quick, guys. Give me just 1 sec, then I'll come check out some more of your questions. You're still chatting. Come join us! Exclamation mark. Post. Okay. Yeah, I mean, don't. I'm not afraid of Ryan Stanek. Great to see Las Montes start to hit again as well. And I knew he would. There were a bunch of people talking about the numbers and blah, blah, blah. I think some of that was just regression to the mean for a 19-year-old. Oh my gosh, I forgot that Jesse Winker plays for the New York Mets. What kind of reception does he get? What kind of reception does Jesse Winker get in Seattle? Might not be very nice. I wouldn't boo him just because, I don't like booing people. Ooh, did you guys see that fly? That's massive. Yep. Colt Emerson is a stud. Colt Emerson is a stud. Yeah. A good point about don't embarrass us on national TV. I can't remember the last time they hosted a game on Sunday Night Baseball. I cannot remember. What's the pitching matchups? I'd be happy to tell you those, Pat. We have get out of here. We have Logan Gilbert against Jose Quintana. Logan Miller. Bryce Miller against Jose Quintana. Advantage Mariners. Logan Gilbert against Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea has been superb. So advantage Mariners, but not by that much. And then Castillo against Severino. Yeah, that ninth, those at bats from Cal Raleigh and Justin Turner in the ninth were terrible. And I will give credit to Will Vest. He has one of the best changeups in baseball. You got to make contact. You got to put the ball in play. Now, thank goodness they didn't hit into a double play, but oof. Yeah, they were bad. Logan Gilbert does get matched with a lot of awesome appointments. Last time we hosted Sunday Night Baseball was June, and I got to get this heart button out of the way, so you're going to see me hit my favorite letter, P. June 2004. So almost exactly 20 years. I'm just talking about the starting pitchers. That's not the game advantage. I just literally mentioned the pitchers. Yeah, it was frustrating seeing him swing. He's chased a lot more with the Mariners than he has with the other teams. That's an organizational thing. And it's weird because they're just control the zone. But boy, they chase a lot. They really do chase a lot. And at the same time, put themselves in too many two-strike positions, but not swinging at hitting hittable pitches. Also, I got to tell you, I love no 1 o'clock game this week because next week the times are so screwed up. 3:40, 3:40, 10:10, 3:40, 10:05, 10:35. Oof. Yeah, Jimmy Garcia is awesome. That was a great job by him. Chad, thank you so much for coming out. I'd love to hear your Mariner news. Robert, I totally understand that too. Yep, a lot of baseball breakfast. A lot of breakfast baseball. Robert, appreciate you coming out, my friend. One of my longest followers, which, I can't blame you. You've had the opportunity to go away. You just keep sticking around. Colt Emerson on the board, high A with his first hit. Awesome. I believe that extended his 41 game. Steve, I'll never forgive you for being late to this. Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate everyone's support. Thanks for coming out. Please hit the like button if you guys don't mind. It really helps. What do you think the timeline for Cole Young is to be called up? A great question. So when I hosted on KJR, some of you guys know I had Justin Hollander on and asked him about whether or not Cole Young was a realistic opportunity. And without completely ruling it out, and he was very clear that he was like, hey, I'm not going to completely rule this thing out on the radio. It would not look good. It sounds like 2025. It sounds like Cole Young is going to be ready to roll in 2025. What position he's going to play? It's a good question. My guess would be third base. That would be my guess. I don't think he's coming up to be an everyday shortstop just yet. But that's my guess. You're so welcome, William. Kim, thank you so much, man. Or thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Man, there is just a thank you, Jessamine. Thank you, my friend. The best producer in the entire world, Jessamine McIntyre. Nicest person in the world, too. Gave me a bunch of good advice when I was dealing with some headache stuff. Yeah, and the only thing about Ahmad Rosario, Nelson, is that he's not a great defender, but he might be just as good a defender as Dylan Moore. So, yeah, that would have made a lot of sense. And yep, as a few of you point out, Houston going to play against the Red Sox. Go Red Sox. Go Red Sox. Big fans of the Boston Red Sox for the next week. Yep. Thank you, Jessamine. If I can ever help you out, my friend, you are the very, very best. I think that's a great point, 2-6. If Julio and JP can be those guys that they were for the majority of the second half last year with these lineup additions, but some guys just got to play better. Got to play better. The legendary Dick Mound, Rich Hill, is holding a showcase in hopes of latching on for the postseason. Within pitching depth issues, would you want the Mariners to be an invested party? Yeah, or at least take a look. It doesn't hurt to look at all. You know, I hope he latches on somewhere. I hope he pitches forever. I hope we're all immortal and we all get to watch Rich Hill pitch until he's 113. Is Josh Rojas a free agent? I don't remember. Someone could answer that for me while I look it up. Yep. As many of you have pointed out too, and Jacob, great point, that things are about to get tough. Things are about to get tough for the Houston Astros for sure. And I hope they just crater. I just hope they crater. Okay, Josh Rojas's contract is... That didn't help me at all. That didn't help me at all. That's the wrong page is why. I know it doesn't matter now, but seeing Eugenio Suarez rake for 2 months now while Rojas has a 77 WRC plus since May 1st really hurts. Happy for Gino. Yeah, I'm both. I wish Gino nothing but the best. But at the same time, I think he would be a pretty clear over what Josh Rojas has done. He's under contract for another 3 years. I knew he wasn't a free agent next year, but I couldn't remember when he hit free agency. Yep, the Dodgers are tough. They're going to face the Giants, who are feisty. The Mets are playing good baseball right now. Yeah. At least the Mariners don't have to face the Brewers right now is a good point, Chad. Jackson Chourio. Oh, my gosh. If you guys aren't paying attention to Jackson Chourio, go look at what he's done over the last month. And he's 20. I'm going to say a hot take right now. I think Jackson Chourio has a chance to be the best player in baseball in 2 years. If it's not him, it's going to be Bobby Witt Jr. or maybe Julio. Julio can show more consistency. Julio has the talent to do it for sure. For sure. What happens to JP, Polanco, and Rojas is Cole Young comes up and looks good. It's a really good question. So Cole's not going to come up this year, and I'm not sure Polanco's back next year. They have a $10 million option. But they're going to have to make some decisions. They're going to have to make some decisions because Cole Young has more upside than those guys by a long shot. I could see Cole Young being your starting second baseman or third baseman next year, with Josh Rojas moving into a more traditional utility role. Yeah, he sure is, Matt. He sure is. Ooh, the Braves are really going through it right now. Really going through it. Julio will need a rehab being out this long, right? Everett would be fun. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I almost wonder if Everett would prefer. Well, no, they would prefer Julio to go there. But, yeah, he's going to need a rehab assignment for sure. For sure. Maybe a short one, but he'll need a rehab assignment. September expands to 2 players. Yes, 28. Wonder who they'll be. Probably a couple pitchers is my guess. I don't see the bats that you add. You know, maybe if JP Crawford isn't ready by September, he's technically, one of your September editions, and then in one of the bullpen arms. That's my guess. Polanco has looked better. Tonight was rough, and yesterday was rough, but I've still been pretty encouraged by what I've seen from Polanco since about right before the All-Star break. Still work to be done, and still too many frustrating things. And the defense, I don't know why it came out like that. Ugh, yeah, for sure. Tyler O'Neill makes a ton of sense. What's up, Elvis? Thanks so much for coming out. Thinking you need a catcher. Yeah, that would make some sense as well. I don't think it's Harry Ford. I wonder if it's Sebi Zavala, but yeah. Yes, so Logan Evans is basically being inning managed for the rest of the year. They tried the bullpen thing, didn't go great, so he's just going to make starts and go a couple innings at a time. Steph, it was a wonderful run, wasn't it? And I still think he can help this team a lot, but it's slowing down pretty good. Oh, see, I disagree. Mean one. I think people forget how well he was playing as of late too, and what he adds defensively to this team, and on the bases. Tyler Fitzgerald, is he for real? To a lesser extent. Good hitter. It's been phenomenal. It's been really fun to watch. I love baseball because you don't get stuff like this in any other sport. Steph just talked about the Linsanity run. So, that kind of is something like that. But it's been so cool. And the metrics suggest he's deserved good results. Not these results. But yeah. Again, if you guys don't mind hitting like, I'd really appreciate it. We'll go for a little while more. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about in this game? I don't think so. Other than, have you guys not been impressed by JT Chargois? I joked, not even joked. I talked about during the trade video that he is Justin Topa. He basically is Justin Topa. And the Mariners have really missed Justin Topa, I think. He's been absolutely outstanding in all of his appearances. Really, both JTs, I think, have really helped this team. Now, Turner, a couple of not great games, although he got on twice yesterday. Actually, yesterday, the 2-3-4 was fine for the Mariners. I didn't talk about it because I was wondering what the point of life was. But I'll say now, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, mean one. For sure. Yeah, he will not be 100% on the basis. I could see Nick Solak Ashes Nelson, though, right? You saw why the Mariners took a Rule 5 pick on him, but nobody, I think, was too disappointed to go. He has a chance to be a really good pitcher. He deserved better than tonight. Chargois is what we kind of hoped that Thornton would be. Yeah, I can see that. Man, Thornton, there's just a few flashes every once in a while that say, but then there are just moments, and he cannot be brought into another game with runners on base. No way. I haven't seen the replay of that play since it happened, but I feel terrible for Ryan Vilade because what a terrible game. The bullpen does need some serious help still. I would be scouring the waiver, scouring for a left-hander, especially for a left-hander. Is Christian Moore usurping 1-1? No, but I did say this on the old Twitter machine. It will not shock me at all. And if there was a way you could bet on this, I would try that Christian Moore plays in the majors this year for the Los Angeles Angels. Would not shock me at all. Andrew, that was really close. And I think has done mostly solid. It's when he's gotten the chance to pitch in the highest leverage situations that he's kind of stunk. But he's been more helper than detrimental. Unfortunately, now I think you have to say that Thornton has been more detriment than help, right? It wasn't that case earlier in the year, but now they are. The call up Senja. I'll tell you this, Nelson. When I talked to Hollander, they didn't think that their third round pick, Cranton, could pitch this year. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It won't shock me at all if he is a high leverage reliever for the Mariners by the end of 2025. Yeah, Thornton had a nice run. Really nice run. But I think the bad now, for me, has outweighed the good. I'd have to take a closer look at the numbers, but I think there's just been more bad than good. Now, at this point. Nets still feel positives to you? Okay. Well, you're wrong, Matthew. You're wrong. No, it could be. Yeah, yuck lately. I think it was Mike Leake. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. Oh, no. They drafted a lefty. Oh, my gosh. Who was it? They drafted a lefty out of the bullpen from Rice or TCU. Oh, my gosh. If anyone could help me that. But Leake reached the majors really quick as well. But there was a lefty that the Reds drafted they brought up really quickly. Andrew, I get it. I do get it. Yeah. Gosh dang it. Well, because they did draft Leake, but no, they drafted this lefty, and he threw super hard, and he looked like a real thing. Reds draft pick reaches majors, left-hander. I'm going to post in this thing, and if I can't think of it, because, that really bugs me. Well, on that note, I think we'll end this. If you guys don't mind hitting like, if you guys don't mind subscribing if you haven't, it's sure appreciated. No, not Matt Latos. Come on, Chris. It wasn't even like a super high pick. Gosh, dang it. Anyway, I will, if you're interested, post in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. We'll probably do one of these over the weekend. These are fun. Love you guys. Talk soon.